Alright guys, so we're just finishing up our tips and tricks module. I've gone over some different ways you can hold your bow, how to draw the strings, and obviously you're going to want to keep researching this and practice it and all that so you can really become good at how you hold the bow. But let's go over a few things of stuff you might want to invest in for making bows if you plan to do this more long term, and some just general workshop tools that everyone should have. So one of our most versatile things is going to be our vise. You really want to make sure you always have a nice vise around. The one thing I could say that you could change about a vise when we're doing woodwork or any kind of metal work, they have these teeth in here for gripping. Now on ours has two little bolts here that hold the teeth. It's like a plate that's been cut into. So I can actually take that off, flip that plate around, and it'll then be a smooth surface. The reason I want you to do that is because you don't want these teeth eating into your wood, leaving marks, or at the same time marring up your metal. You want to make sure that your finishes are nice, so just put the flat end of it in there. If you don't have a flat end, you're going to have to get an angle grinder. You can go in there and grind down those teeth. Another thing I've seen some people do is they'll go make a little box out of some pieces of metal. They'll take two pieces of metal and bend them over here, so you lay your little things in there kind of like a sleeve, and then you put your material in between those two sleeves, and the sleeves acts as a barrier between the teeth. Okay, so outside of our vise, you're also going to really want to make sure you have some kind of drill. Now, ideally, you want a drill press. We've got this awesome drill press that was built in 1942. It's old, beat up, it's got a little rust on it, but it still works amazing. We actually looked up the serial numbers. It looks like it was actually involved in some war machine making for World War II, so it's kind of nice to have a little bit of history in the shop. The other thing is, you don't need to go out and buy a new $500 drill press. Many times, a lot of these tools I find on Craigslist, especially ones that are built in between the 40s and 70s, they're all metal construction. They're very heavy duty. They're real workhorses. There's no plastic parts in there to break down on you, and that's really what you want to pay attention to when you're looking for to invest in machines. You know, I don't want to go spend $500 on a machine that's going to break down in 2 months because some plastic part. Outside of those, of kind of having a nice vise and a nice drill press in your shop, really all the other tools I use are hand tools. Maybe a power tool, maybe like another small bandsaw would be a great investment. But really you can get away with a jigsaw if you don't have a bandsaw. So there's always cheaper alternatives to tools out there that you can research to really get the job done so that way you don't break the bank. I always like to spend as little as possible I can on tools, so I have more money for materials to go out and build projects and to have things on hand. There's no point in spending thousands of dollars on tools and having the best workshop in the world ready to go for you if you've ran out of money and have no materials to go make anything with. So we've gone over tips and tricks, and we've given you some information to give you a fighting chance on being an archer. Now we're going to start our first project to get you a bow made so you can go in the backyard and now practice all these things. So let's go ahead and head over there, and we're going to show you how to make your first bow.